Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday night comic book preview stream here at Fantasy Books and Games. Our camera's like a little wonky,
It's
but
like off.
it's
Yeah.
that's a, oh, there we go.
There
How
we
about
go.
that's a little better?
Perfect.
I probably bumped it when I was getting squeezed in here,
Or something.
or something. But welcome everybody to the Tuesday night comic book stream. As I said, I'm Aaron. This is Sam.
What up?
We're going to talk about some new comics that come out tomorrow. We've got a big stack.
Yeah.
There's there's some interesting stuff coming out tomorrow. There's also a couple of, in my opinion, choice collected editions, hardcovers, and trade paperbacks that I want
Cool.
to show off. But you know what I always like to start with.
Yes.
I like to start with any facsimile reprint that comes out, and I've remarked before. I'm like in awe that it's like literally every week there's at least one, usually two, sometimes three
Yeah.
facsimile reprints coming out on a Wednesday. This week's a three facsimile week.
Whoa.
There are three, but none of them are super old though. They're actually all kind of. It's funny. I say relatively recently, but one of them is like over 30 years old, which. Anyway,
time.
it's just briefly want to mention that Marvel is reprinting the original Civil War series by Mark Miller and Steve McNiven. If I was I was reading comics when this came out. I was buying this one off the shelf, and I actually this is about when I stopped following Marvel because I could see that they were just going to go into like event after event after event, and that's what they did. But this is a good looking book. I like Steve McNiven's art a lot, although I keep flipping to ads here. That's the charm of a facsimile reprint is that you get all the old ads in a
What
book.
was important to advertise?
The Messengers. You remember
Okay.
that in theaters, February
I
2nd?
don't remember that.
Let's see. Anti-smoking ad. That was all
Okay.
the rage back
Yeah.
then.
Hey, I played
Oh,
that game.
you played this game?
Yeah, it was good.
What is it?
It's like a space RPG. It's about space pirates.
Okay.
You go to like several different worlds. If you like Kingdom Hearts, you'll like it.
You know what I was gonna say? That looks like Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's neat. That's not really what we were talking about. We were going to talk about the comic book. I was only going to mention, this issue has the cool scene where Captain America beats up Punisher and calls him a murderous piece of trash because he kills bad guys. So classic scene. Let's see here. There we go. So Marvel Civil War #6. This I think it was a 7-issue series, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the penultimate issue. So just if you weren't aware, they are reprinting the issues. So there you go. Also, another this one's even more recent. This is a facsimile reprint of Batman #676. This is from like maybe not 2010. I'm trying to remember when they did Batman Rip, RIP. I actually don't know. Sometimes DC does say in their indicia. I don't know where it is though in this.
This was after
2008. Okay. Yeah, 2008. That sounds about right. This was another one that I was buying on the stands.
Oh, nice.
But I stopped buying Batman right before this issue came out.
Oh, get out.
Because they were doing crossovers, and it was like the death of Bruce Wayne, and it was Final Crisis, and I kind of like.
I was gonna ask, was it when he died?
This is after Final Crisis.
Okay.
A little bit after. But so I'd kind of like gotten out of Batman at that point. I enjoyed Final Crisis. This is an issue, I should say. It's by Grant Morrison, so this is part of Grant Morrison's run on Batman. Which this is the beginning of the RIP storyline, and it's also the first appearance of some characters, some criminal characters that he created.
Right.
But art by Tony Daniel, and so this is one that I'm actually kind of looking forward to reading this. Oh, let's put this on the full downward camera. There we go. Yeah, because I like Grant Morrison a lot, and I was reading that Batman run, but I never really gave it its full due, and partially because I feel like it got interrupted by a lot of like event stuff and some other publishing stuff that was going on behind the scenes. They like relaunched. I don't know the New 52. I don't remember which one it was, if it was 52 or New 52 that was going on. But anyway, the point is, if you see several Batman books on the shelf, One of them is a reprint from 2008, and that's this one. Another reprint. This one I think everybody will recognize is probably a reprint. This is Superman 75 from 1993. This is the famous Death of Superman issue. This is not even the first time they've done a facsimile reprint of this, but you know what? It's a cool comic if you've never read it. Have you ever read this one, Sam? Did you ever read
I own it. I have never read it.
Okay, the Death is it gets a lot of flack for being an excessive 90s comic. It's such a gimmick to kill Superman, but I've reread these issues because I read them as a kid and I got kind of sucked into it, but I've reread them as an adult and I actually think they're kind of good comics. Like Dan Jurgens is a good comic book creator,
right?
And so even though it is a very gimmicky event, like they're pretty good. And this issue, one thing that's really neat, and I definitely did not get this as a kid. And if you read this issue, you will see that this issue, every page is a pinup. Right. So that's like big, giant action comics, like every page. And also advertisements for Hook, the video game on Super Nintendo. But what was neat about this was that the issue before this, every page was 2 panels. And the issue before this, every page was 3 panels. So they were like counting down to the moment. So there was kind of a little bit of thought put into the structure of how like the momentum was. Oops, clicked the wrong button there. How the momentum was like building up to this moment. And so you know what, they're pretty good comics. It's definitely a 90s comic for sure. But I got a lot of respect for them. All right, not a facsimile, but a reprint. Let's see, what is this? This is the 10th printing of Absolute Batman #1.
How does that look on the barcode? I'm just curious.
Like, I know.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the 10th printing of Absolute Batman #1. Man, DC sure has a hit on their hands with Absolute Batman,
and they know it.
And they know it, yeah. And I've said this before. I'm just, one of the things I like so much about this. Let's put this on the full camera. Is that they do keep doing these new printings of issue 1. And I know it sounds like, on the one hand, it sounds maybe a little, I don't know, what's the word? Like, it's not just a gimmick to take advantage of collectors who want to buy every edition or every printing. It's also a great way to get people to buy the regular monthly book, because if they can get issue 1, if they can get even if a 3rd printing, then they can just jump back in, with the next issues. Exactly. And it's easy to follow the series. And that's one thing I have to say that has been really nice about Absolute Batman, all the Absolute books, aside from being really popular, and obviously they're very collectible right now. I have seen a lot of new people coming in, and they want them because they want to read them. Yeah. Like, they're really actually getting into the stories, which is very, very refreshing, because it's so it's so easy. Like, when you get really into comic book collecting, it's really easy to get really just cynical about like, people are buying these things and are not even reading them, and you're just putting them in slabs, and it's like, why does it even exist? But like, the Absolute books, people are reading them. And even though I think I've been on record as saying I don't really care for Absolute Batman, the story, I'm glad that other people are into it.
Have you seen like people buy reprints of the first issue and then go on to buy like the entire series?
Yes. We've had people coming in and like looking to they want to read the series, but they want to stay current with it. Right. And this is another thing that's sort of like I have to assume this was done on purpose by DC, but their trade paperbacks, they're not released immediately after the arc ends. So like, normally, like for the last several years, the way a publisher works is they'll print like 6 issues, and then they'll put together the trade paperback, and it'll come out the same week or the same month as issue 7. So ideally, the idea is you can buy the trade paperback and issue 7 and then be caught up and go. But what DC has done with the Absolute books is the first 6 issue collected editions aren't coming out until like around issue 10 or 11 of the series came out, which means you can't just like just pick up the next issue and go. Like, you've got to kind of go back and collect the series, which means that people are wanting to buy all the issues, and by having 2nd and 3rd printings of the previous issues, people can get it and just jump right into it. But then it also means people are more likely to just stick with the issues and not just, traditional trade waiting for the trade paperback. But anyway, all of that is to say, DC's been killing it with a lot of the stuff they've been doing this year, but the Absolute books especially. Also coming out tomorrow is a second printing of the Absolute Batman Annual. This was another book. I know this book got a lot of hype. I mean, it's the main story is written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson. This is one of this might be the only Absolute Batman book I've actually bought. I didn't even buy issue 1, which from a collector's standpoint maybe I should have, but I'm a big fan of Daniel Warren Johnson, so he got me to buy an Absolute Batman book, and it's a cool story. We talked about it when it first came out.
It was good.
But I do like that, again, they're just doing more printing so that people can get them and read them, and that's really exciting to me, as not just as somebody who works in a comic book store, but as a collector and a fan of comic books. I'm so happy that like people are just into it. Let's see, what else do we got here? We have the hardcover for Mouse Guard: Dawn of the Black Axe. I was a big fan of this series. We talked about the issues when it came out. I really like Mouse Guard a lot. And let's see, I'll put that on the downward cam. Yeah, it's this fun square format. But Dave Peterson, it's funny because he didn't do the art in this, and I'd be hard pressed to tell. Like, and I think it helps that he colored it and lettered it, so it still looks like the pages look like his types of pages. But yeah, the I should say the artist who did this, Gabriel Rodriguez, did a great job. Like really played to David Peterson's style. But yeah, I love this series. It's one of my all-time favorite comics, honestly. Just fun kind of medieval adventures with animals. But I like that they're all represented to scale, as animals. Like it's not a talking animals comic like in the same way that like Usagi Yojimbo is, where they're all people with animal characteristics. This one is like they are animals. Like the mice are super tiny and the snakes are big, and things like that. So very, very cool. Another collected edition, just briefly mentioned, The Thing, King of Yancey Street, comes out tomorrow. This was another 5-issue series that I think I talked about most of them. I like this one.
Yeah, I did too.
It's written by Tony Fleeks and art by Mason. What's his name? Justin Mason. And this was good. It was like classic Thing, and so I appreciated it. And it's nice that because it's a story that takes place like early in Thing's career. So I like that he goes up against villains and he doesn't just know who they are. That's one of the things I've talked about before, where the Marvel Universe feels so diluted because like every character knows every character, and they don't just know who they are. They know intimate details about each other.
Complex backstory.
Exactly.
Every combination of
every character has like some complex interconnected backstory. Also coming out tomorrow, Kea Volume 5. I've been enjoying this series quite a bit. This is from Wes Craig, written and drawn, and this is just kind of fun post-apocalyptic adventure with a girl with a robot arm, and there's monsters, and there's lizard people, and there's robots, and there's magic, and there's dragons. It's kind of like everything.
Yeah.
A little bit like it's like, I don't necessarily want to make this comparison because it's not stylistically similar, but it's kind of like He-Man, where it's like a sci-fi fantasy where kind of anything goes. It's not, like I said, it's not like He-Man that much, but I get a similar vibe. Just where it's like in that vein, nothing's off the table, So yeah, this is a cool book. This is book 5, I think. Let's see, what how many issues does this collect? 25 through 30. So we got Wes Craig has said he wants to do 50 issues, so he's got 20 more issues to do, and then he's finishing it.
So like 4 more trades then?
Yeah, probably about roughly 4 more trades.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Wes says, looking forward to The Darkness and other series I follow is Rook Exodus. Rook Exodus is really good, but I have not kept up with it. I've been really bad about that. And I forgot to grab The Darkness. Issue 2 comes out today, so not today, tomorrow. It will be out. It will be out Wednesday. But because we talked about issue 1 when that came out, like that, man, that book is 90s and a half. You know, like it's so edgy and but still, you know, it's cool.
Yeah.
Another collected edition. This one doesn't really come out tomorrow, but we just got them in, and I wanted to show it off because I'm a big fan of this book. This is The Hobbit. Yes, the J.R.R. Tolkien book, but it is adapted for comics by Chuck Dixon and illustrated by David Wenzel, and it is just the complete Hobbit, the original. Let's put it on the big camera. And
beautiful.
Oh, it's so good. It's this beautiful, like, painted illustration. I don't even know if it's painted, but how it's colored, because some of it almost looks like it could be like watercolor maybe, or colored pencils almost, but it's probably painted. But yeah, this is just straight up The Hobbit, which is a great book, one of my favorites, and it's adapted really well. And I think one of the things I like most about this book is that it was because this is an old book. I forget when it originally came out. It was before the movies, though.
Oh,
and so I like that a lot of the designs in the fantasy world, it's not taking a cue from the movies. So I like that the goblins look like more traditional fantasy goblins, and they don't look, because that's my there's Gollum. Like that's my hot take. I like those Lord of the Rings movies, but I don't love them. And one of the things I dislike most about them is that there's not a lot of visual flair to it, and everything is muted. And I feel like Peter Jackson was going out of his way to make it look as little like a fantasy setting as possible. And there's some precedent for that, because Middle Earth is kind of a dour place, and also that story is taking place in a transitional period where like magic is kind of leaving. But anyway, the point is, I like The Hobbit a lot, and it's more fantastical and magical anyway. So it just it's really good. This is like, if you have never read The Hobbit, I think you could read this and you'd pretty much get the same experience.
Right.
And if you were looking to reread it, this is a perfect excuse to reread it and just really appreciate this beautiful art in this. So yeah, The Hobbit hardcover graphic novel. It is revised and expanded. Like there's a lot of back matter, like there's some sketching and just bigger view of some of the character designs and some of the lush. Like look at that Smaug right there. Yeah, that's cool looking.
That is cool.
So yeah, very very good. I like The Hobbit a lot. Okay, let's see. I got several books here to talk about. Sam, I've been doing a lot of talking. What's something that you got that you want to show off?
Let me see. We both read Inglorious X-Force.
We did.
So let's show that off to the camera.
Yeah, they kind of got me with this one. I was, you know, I mean, Sam, you're our resident X-Men expert at this point.
Oh my God, that's I don't know if I'm worthy of that title.
Well, when our powers combine, I think we got a pretty good handle on the X-Men, because I've not followed a lot of the contemporary stuff, but I know a lot of the old stuff. And so they kind of got me with this book, because this is like, first of all, this cover, I'm like, this just feels like a classic X-Force type of book. You got classic Cable, you got Archangel there, who was like, he's been in versions of the X-Force before.
Right.
Boom Boom, who is like original X-Force.
Right.
And then you have Helverine, who's a character I don't
You're less than enthusiastic.
I don't particularly care about. Okay, here's my hot take about that. I've never liked Wolverine's son, Daken, as a character. I just felt like he had no reason to exist.
Right.
What was the
name of that?
Secret Invasion, or
no. Secret Invasion.
It was Dark Avengers, right?
Yeah,
Dark Reign. Yeah, Dark Reign. And I was just like, I never liked the character. I didn't. It felt like it was like they were trying to like, let's make an edgier, darker Wolverine, and that's boring to me. That's what he is. But I have to admit, combining him with a Ghost Rider like spirit is like the most 90s thing you could do for the character, is combine Wolverine and Ghost Rider, who were like, that was the height of their popularity, was in the 90s for both those characters.
You wanted edgy.
And I'm like, you know what? It like took it just like to that next step where I'm like, okay, it's no longer like boring, predictable edgy. Now they're having fun with it,
Yeah.
like making him like Wolverine, Ghost Rider combined into the Helverine, which is so silly. It sort of works for me. It's weird to say, but it kind of does. But anyway, so what did you think about this issue? I have some thoughts, but I want to know what you think.
It was a good entry point, I think, to whatever they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I find it, well, I guess I don't know how much spoiler.
That's
stuff
true.
we
There
can
is
talk.
like there was like a little bit of a plot twist, which
Yes.
or not a twist, but a reveal, a spoiler.
Right.
And I don't think I want to reveal that because we got to that point in the story, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I like where this is going.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know how you feel about that particular character.
similar to Deken, where it's
Yeah.
like, but that one is less a problem with the character and more of a problem of I feel like Marvel has not known what to do with the character.
Yes.
And anyway, so I feel like okay, there's something here. The twist, though, I was like, okay, that's appropriate for like a Cable story,
Right.
you know. But again, I don't want to reveal what it is, so we won't. So we won't. But yeah, you can. So, but yeah, I mean, basically, like Cable just shows up in like the current time, and he has a vision of the future, which we saw in this uh, opening few pages, and he messed up. Like he wasn't in time to save somebody, so he's got to go back and figure out how to do it right and assemble a team. And there's like he's got. I kind of like
So
this
he
bit.
etches the names
He
of the
etches the
people.
names of his team on his arm in the future, but he's kind of got these memory gaps because something wrong with him. Time travel messes you
Weird.
up. Yeah. So he's got to assemble this team, and for the most part, the issue is just, I would say, kind of boilerplate assembling the team story. Where
Correct.
each scene, it's like you introduce them doing their thing, and then Cable talks to them, and then they agree to join the team.
Yeah.
And I did kind of like this thing with Boom Boom.
Yeah.
I like Boom Boom.
I like Boom Boom.
She's a silly character, but because she's basically like a Paris Hilton type, like she's just a party girl, but she's got this extremely destructive power where she can explode things. So I like that she's just like demolishing buildings and
saving demolition companies so much money.
Right, yeah. And then when Cable's like, okay, you're not going to like what I have to ask you, but it's a dangerous mission. And she's just instantly like, I'll do it. Get me out of this boring life. And she like wants to go back into action. And I appreciated that. Like that's funny. I should point out one of the other thing that got me with this was that because I saw this and I'm like, okay, this feels kind of like this is like classic X-Force. And I saw that it's written by Tim Seeley, who I feel like he's the guy right now to write an X-Force comic. He wrote Local Man from a few years ago, which was one of my favorite comics of the time. And that whole comic was about a guy who used to be an extreme superhero in the 90s, which is what X-Force is, the poster child for extreme superheroes in the 90s.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, Tim Seeley's the guy like that you get for this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
did he deliver?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it, which I don't mean that to sound as much of a backhanded compliment as it is, but like because like there's some things where I'm like, it's just difficult for me to get sucked into a lot of contemporary continuity,
right.
And I was specifically going to avoid that with the new X-Men books. But this was like an okay issue.
Even it doesn't delve into a lot of that. I mean, other than their predictions for the future.
Yeah, and just the existence of characters that I don't care for, like I can't hold that against the book. Like they're a part of the continuity now. Like they're in the Marvel universe, and so you got to play with them. So I like that it's a mix of like old and new characters. Yeah. So it worked for me. I'm probably gonna follow it. Like I'll at least read the next issue. Love Cable, down to earth, edgy. Yep. I mean that's I do love Cable. I do have he's a cool. I mean I will admit it's like almost 100% just like nostalgia for reading comics as a kid. But I thought Cable was the coolest character in the world back then. So I do feel myself a little drawn to the characters. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Let's see. Also coming out tomorrow, just a few things to mention. There's a new issue of Adventure Time. I've been enjoying this series. One thing to note, I don't have a whole lot to say about this issue. I haven't read it, But each issue, one thing I like is that each issue has a backup story in it, and this is such a weird serendipitous thing. But Sam, I think you did, but I did. You and I, we met the artist of this backup story the other day.
You were talking to him at
yeah,
Drink, right?
yeah. Her name is let's if we can get this on the full down. Her name is Kleonique Hilsaka, and she's in St. Louis. She lives in St. Louis.
That's
and
so awesome.
Yeah, so we were just casually chatting about comics and art, and she was saying she's working on this backup story for Adventure Time, and I was like, well, I read Adventure Time, and then here it is. Like, she showed me the pages too, and yeah, this is her work. So that's
so cool.
That's pretty nice. St. Louis creator. I always like to point that out whenever I can. But yeah, I have been enjoying this series. Like, for fans of just classic Adventure Time, I think it's pretty good. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. A few other things coming out tomorrow that are in my regular pull. These are. It goes without saying that these are probably my choice picks for the week.
Right.
But this is a big week for all of my personal favorite books coming out. Yeah. So Cul-de-sac. I talk about this book whenever I can. This is a very cool vampire comic. I love the art. It's written by Mike Carey, who he's written a lot of great stuff. Jonathan Wayshak is an artist who I'm not totally familiar with, but man, do I really like this. Like, it's giving me Sam Keith vibes, like, a little bit, like, just, it's great. It's really, really good. So this one is good if you can. This is a Bad Idea book, and Bad Idea's whole thing is that they don't print trade paperbacks.
Right.
So definitely track down the issues and get into it. There's actually 3 Bad Idea books coming out tomorrow that I've been enjoying. They're all terrible. Number 4, I even hesitate to flip through this one because I haven't read this issue yet, but I really enjoyed the issues leading up to this. It's kind of a bloody, brutal barbarian story, but like each issue has like a weird twist in it. So like the first issue was this character assembling a team to defend their realm, and there's some like twists on like who's actually the hero and who's actually like worthless. And then the second issue, they all get there, and the whole party, they agree that they're not actually going to protect the realm. They're just going to rob the vault. It was like a secret Ocean's 11 type thing where they were all just pretending to go along. They're all terrible. That's the name of the book. Yeah. So they're just pretending to be mercenaries so that they can get into the city and rob the vault. And then some other stuff happens and continues to happen. This, I believe, is the final issue. Also, this issue written by Matt Kindt, another St. Louis creator.
Nice.
And there's actually 2 Matt Kindt books coming out. Also, Save Now. I haven't had a chance to read this issue yet. This is issue 3, I believe. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is issue 0. Okay, this is this whole thing because Matt Kindt likes to be a little tricksy and surreal, and there's like a time travel element to this. Did you read the first issue of Save Now? I read the
first issue.
Okay, yeah. So it's really good. I like it a lot. And so there was 2 issues and then issue 0, because his whole power is that he can go back in time and just restart things. Right. And so that's what this is. The reading order is issue 1, issue 2, issue 0, because again, like he's going forward and then he's going back. So yeah, but it's really good. Highly, highly recommend it. Also coming out tomorrow, I am blessed by like all my favorite creators. 2 David Lapham books. And I know we've talked about both of these, American Caper and Good as Dead. Mm-hmm. I believe Good as Dead is going 6 issues, they said. So, yeah, this is the penultimate issue. And, man, this is, like, really great crime drama. Good. I am liking this one quite a bit. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. American Caper, it's like, I also really like this. So it's a shame that it's releasing at the same time, because if I had to pick, I think I got to go with Good as Dead, but I really like both of them. Yes. So it's just kind of ironic that they're really. I think it's American Caper is David Lapham is not writing it. It's a different writer, but he's penciling it, and then there's somebody else inking over him. That's it's a lot of work making comics. So, yes. So both excellent books. If you check them out, I highly recommend both of them. All right. Several other things. We'll save that one for a second. Just briefly mention these other two books that are coming out tomorrow. Powers 25, number 5. I don't remember. Have you read much Powers?
I read the first volume. I read Who Killed Retro Girl.
Okay, yeah. So I'm mostly just putting this out there as a reminder that Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Oming are doing a new Power series, and frankly, I just want to say how like relieved I am that Bendis is kind of getting back to his wheelhouse. Like I feel like he's a writer who's always been kind of all over the place, but he's always worked best in these types of stories, like a Powers type book. So I haven't read this issue yet either, but it has been like it feels like they haven't missed a step. Like reading through it, like this is just it's just cops who deal with superheroes.
Right.
You know, it's basically like a police procedural, and it's good stuff. I like the artist a lot too, Michael Avon Oming. He also does a lot of stuff. We talk about him. He's doing that Red Book, Blue Book, and Red Book about like conspiracy theories and alien abductions and stuff like that.
Nice.
But yeah, so Powers 25 definitely. If you this is something that you might have read 25 years ago. That's why it's called 25 because it's like the
the first one is that old.
It is 25 years ago.
Oh my God, we're so old.
I know. Also coming out tomorrow, worth mentioning, Everything Dead and Dying. Did you read any of this one?
I have not.
I read the first issue and I haven't kept up with it, but I just wanted to mention it because a few of our coworkers are reading it and they really like it. And it's I don't want to sound dismissive. It's a zombie story.
Okay.
But it's like a cool. It's just a well done zombie story. I guess that's the way to put it. But yeah, so Everything Dead and Dying definitely might be worth checking out. I need to check. I don't know how many issues it is because I'm sure a trade paperback will be out relatively soon.
Right.
Okay. A few other things. What's something that you got over there?
I also have Captain America number 6.
Oh yeah, Captain America number 6.
Yeah.
This was
so it tripped me up a little bit because there's a time jump between that first arc to now.
Mm-hmm.
So now he is operating in the contemporary, like in the
current times, right?
Yeah, where with Doom falling and
okay,
so it ties into all of the Doom stuff that's been going on.
Okay, yeah, because I remember seeing there was like a little bit of a, I guess not a controversy, but this whole issue was I don't know how heavily it was rewritten, but it was rewritten because the original solicitation and the original cover announced a bunch of new captains. Like the story was going to be like the UN is going to have its own captains, like Captain France, Captain Belgium, Captain whatever. And that was the solicitation. It's like Cap leads this group of new captains, and then now it's like, and then it was quickly changed, and it's like, no, they're all SHIELD agents now. And so I wonder how much of that is because of the fallout of the One World Under Doom story, or just
something
plans got changed. Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely
you didn't catch that like when it first.
No, that solicitation I did not.
Okay.
I haven't been scanning previews the way that I used to.
Yeah, and me neither.
But you can see, I guess
that was my question.
Framework of like.
Yeah, that was mostly going to be my question. Was like, can you, like, when I say that to you, can you kind of envision how it could have been?
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, okay.
With
like this group of characters.
Front, yeah. Yes, I could see where they would want to do that. Like give each of them, their own captain persona of their various nationalities or what have you. Like.
Interesting.
I could see it.
Well, I'm sorry to derail your train of thought with that, but like, did you like the issue? Then?
I did like the issue.
Okay,
it's definitely like a product of its time. It's talking a
time which is today.
Yes. And it talks about kind of a lot of the thoughts that people have about
state of the world
and the state of the world,
yeah.
Without being too heavy-handed.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's funny though. Just, I saw this was coming out, and I remember that about the solicitations.
So
Interesting
that would
though.
have been like advertised as that what 2 months ago?
Oh, like maybe like 3 months ago
3 months
even.
ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 2 to 3 months ago for
I
sure.
wonder how much rewriting and presumably like they'd have to change the art too, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Oh my
it
god.
makes you wonder. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Another, I guess, a couple of things just to briefly mention. You know, the X-Men are having their kind of like they're coming back from the
Yeah.
Age of Revelation, and so there's new series starting up. So there is a new Rogue series
Nice.
and also a new Psylocke series. I haven't read either of these. Are you, Sam? Are you planning
Planning
on
on reading
looking
both
at
of
any?
them.
You are.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's an X-Men book.
It's an. I see. You're our resident
I
X
am
Men
not.
expert.
They're like
Our
Kia would just destroy me in X-Men trivia. Like
uh
I just don't retain all of that information. There's so many characters and they all have pretty complicated backstories.
Well, I was just explaining to one of our coworkers earlier today, like Psylocke's history about how she was a British lady that got mind swapped into a Japanese assassin, and our coworker was like, I had no idea any of that. I just
Yeah.
thought she was always an Asian character. I'm like,
No,
no, she's British.
because she was originally
She was
Betsy
Betsy Braddock.
Braddock.
She was sister to Captain Britain.
Right, right.
Uh, you know,
And her other persona is Quana.
Quanon. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's I honestly haven't kept up with the current content, but as I understand it, the two characters have been split into their like themselves. So Betsy Braddock is like herself again, and
Okay.
Psylocke is like the Quanon character,
Okay.
which I have nothing to say about that. Maybe I should read this. I see it is written by Tim Seeley.
Yeah.
So maybe
Man,
I
he's been
should.
putting in the work.
Dude, he's getting work. That dude writes so many comics. Like
Yeah.
he's been working too for like 20 years.
That's
But like he's getting all the work right now.
Yeah.
So good for him. You know,
Good.
you gotta get that bread. Also coming out tomorrow. This is something I did read. This is Bloodland
Ooh.
by B. Clay Moore and Mac Chatter. This is a new issue from Ignition Press, and it is a vampire story. And this is a cool cover. I'm kind of curious where it's supposed to go, but I did feel like this issue it had a lot of like there's a lot of characters in it. It kept bouncing around, like setting up several different like groups of characters, which like it just
which could be cooler. It could be a little messy.
That's kind of my thought. I'm like
Yeah.
this could kind of go in multiple directions because you have like these groups of characters here who are I don't know if they're vampire hunters or there's some kind of group. There's a lot of implied stuff, which I guess maybe it was why I had trouble latching onto it. There's like this implied civil unrest, like you can see this page here with the White House and like SWAT guards and barbed wire around it. So there's kind of this implied, maybe even like a civil war type of a thing going on. But also there are vampires, and so there's this story about this woman who woke up in a hospital and she delivered a baby and like something weird is going on and the doctors took her baby and I don't necessarily want to spoil what happens, but what do you think a vampire would do if they had a hospital as a front for acquiring blood? Probably,
lay low.
Yeah, definitely lay low.
You sound like you have a good scheme there already.
Right, exactly. But I don't know. So we'll see where it's going.
Yeah.
It's I feel like there wasn't a whole lot to like really sink my teeth into. There's a lot of like setting up of pieces, but I can't see how they connect. Gotcha. I guess is how I would put it. You know. But let's see. Did you have one more book?
I had one more book.
Well, that's good because I have one more book.
I have X-Men number 24.
All right, another X-Men.
That's the theme going.
That's what it's. There's four different X-Men themed books coming out. Now this is this is Age of Revelation epilogue.
Yes.
Is this actually the final issue of the Age of Revelation?
It pretty much provides some closure as to where they're gonna go from here.
Okay.
The leader of the 3K group.
Is that Cassandra Nova?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh no. so the leader of the 3K group kind of establishes what he wants to do. He learned some stuff from the whole Age of Revelation event, and I'm not going to spoil who that character is.
Sure.
But they have some grand plans for what they want to do.
Okay.
And there's a little bit of a mutiny within the group before that leader makes his intentions known. But yeah, it was good.
I don't want to necessarily flip too far to get to.
Yeah, I would stop at that page because they're going to reveal who the leader is.
Okay, well we won't. I won't do that.
Anybody who read the Age of Revelation event already
should have a good idea.
But, yeah.
Well, so all right. So, what are your final thoughts on Age of Revelation? I know we kind of talked about this in previous week because there was another epilogue issue, I think.
Right. Yeah, they had kind of like because there were
that's right, the Cyclops issue. Yeah,
they had two people that they sent into the future and did like a body swap, and Cyclops was one of them. So they had to wrap up all of his what he found out. And, you know.
And this is the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it seems like so far it seems like from these epilogue events that the Age of Revelation is just an inevitability. Like.
Very Terminator style.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Judgment Day will happen.
I thought that event, I read pretty much everything. I think I missed the last issues of a couple of the miniseries, but so I'll have to go back and read those. But the Age of Revelation event was really good. A little anticlimactic.
Yeah.
But
does it like easily move into like back to the regular continuity?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like the moment they left, they just
pick up where it was. Okay, all right. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Legitimately, I'm glad that it seemed to be a well received event.
Yeah.
Like a lot of our X-Men customers did enjoy it.
Yeah, it was a good story.
And I admit I am a little bit of a sucker for the Age of Apocalypse, so I did.
Then it was right up your
alley. I know, but I'm just like.
You didn't read any of it?
I read the issues I read for sure to talk about on the stream, but I just like you only got so much time in the day, man.
It was a lot.
It was a lot of books that came out for it. So maybe someday when there's like a nice omnibus collected edition, I might sit down and read through the whole thing. We shall see. Yeah. All right, one more. I got one final book to talk about for this stream, and this is not even like a new book. This is a book I've talked about quite often. Every time it comes out. But I really wanted to highlight this because I read this and I really loved it. This specific issue, Assorted Crisis Events, number 8. And I've talked about this book about how it's really well. First of all, it's really good. It's written by Denise Camp, and art is by Zawadzki. I don't remember their first name, but this is a comic book focused issue of Assorted Crisis Events. So what I've loved about this series is that each issue is a standalone story about a character dealing with some kind of crisis, and usually it is it's a lot of the story is like a personal crisis or an emotional crisis, right. And then as a metaphor for like this weird sci-fi thing that's happening. So you'd have like one of the issues was like a character that was randomly aging backward and forward at any given point in time, and like the struggles that his wife had, like trying to live with him while he's like 1 minute he's a child, the next minute he's elderly, and and then like there was the one I really like, the one about the guy who's like corpses of himself just kept popping up in his house, and he just like couldn't figure out a way to dispose of them, and people didn't like being around him because dead bodies just constantly show up. So this issue is an issue about a comic book artist who becomes basically a homeless bum, and right off the bat here, this first page sets the tone of what you're going to get. Now, if you don't recognize this, so he's looking directly at the reader and he says, "You can see me." This is a reference to a classic Animal Man panel from Grant Morrison's run on Animal Man, the famous meta issue where he breaks the fourth wall and Animal Man is looking at the reader and he's freaked out because he says, "I can see you." And so that's what we're seeing here. So this sets the tone that there's going to be some weird fourth wall breaking. And this main character, he is a comic book artist who's like his whole life has been ruined, and now he's like an alcoholic bum on the street, but also nobody knows he exists. Yeah. Like literally. So like that people like can't see him. So it's like a Twilight Zone type of a thing. But as I said, it's also kind of a metaphor for how people choose to not acknowledge things that are unpleasant or that they don't want to deal with.
Right.
And so that's what we get here. And he spends a lot of time kind of explaining how comics work, which I appreciate as somebody who loves comics. There's a lot of time spent explaining the gutters, like what the gutters are. So there's like a little bit of stuff lifted here from like Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics.
Nice.
And there's also a lot of comic book references. The main character's name is Wally. Wally. Oh, I forgot what. It's like Wally something, but it's clearly a reference to the great comic book artist Wally Wood, who himself had a tragic ending and his life devolved into alcoholism and self-destruction and met a premature end. And so like that's kind of another reference of like, you know, what's going on with this character. He kind of narrates his life and like everything that happened to him. He gets a job at Timeless Comics, which, you know, Timely Comics was Marvel. The guy that's in charge of Timely, he's drawn to look like Jack Kirby. There's like lots of little Easter eggs in here that's fun like that. You get a reference to this character here who has shown up in the background of pretty much every other issue of Assorted Crisis events. And that's one of the things I like about this is that there's like this is a character that kind of links everything together, but it's not really about him.
Right.
And so that's
he's like a Rod Serling
kind of, yeah, a little bit. But yeah, this is it's really, really good issue. I saw somebody refer to this series as sadness porn because it's like each issue is just like just hitting you over the head with misery, like misery porn maybe. Like it's just like, oh man, these people, like their life sucks. And a lot of the issues have like a bittersweet ending where it's like not like a happy ending, but there's like a resolution. And this issue is no different. And it's got a meta nature to the ending as well. But you know, I really appreciate the craft. The art is great, and like you saw that as we were flipping through the pages. It's really, really good book. Again, I highly recommend it. One of my favorite things about it, of course, is that you can literally just pick up any issue and read it as a standalone story. And that's something that I feel like, it's not that I feel like every comic should be like that, but I do feel like it's something that's missing in a lot of comics, like to be able to just like grab a book and read it. So this is like the place where you can start with that. Although, like I said, it's a little maudlin. You know, it's a little sadness porn, a little bit. But anyway, still one of my favorite books coming out right now. Highly, highly recommend it.
Nice.
All right. I mean, that's all we got for today. There's, you know, there are a lot of other books coming out tomorrow, but you know, I can only carry so much weight, you know, when we come in here. But anyway, yeah. So, you know, like our friend Dan says, there's comics out there for everybody. You know, Dan hasn't been on the stream in like 2 years.
When was the last time Dan was? So 2 years ago?
Like 2 years ago. And he used to say that. And I don't even know if it's fair to say like our friend Dan says, because he hasn't said it in 2 years.
Well, he's still our friend.
He is. I don't know. He said some pretty hurtful things earlier today.
No.
Not about me. But anyway, you know, like our friend Dan says, there's comics out there for everybody. Come on down to Fantasy Books and Games, buy some comic books, talk to me and Sam and everybody else here. We love talking comics. And yeah, that's it. We're out of here. Bye.